I had 6 people from my community join the live call with me, and they asked me questions all about my sales process, my business, and how we run our $4 million a year concrete company. This is actually my Inner Circle Live community. These are people that are actually paid members here at Concrete CEO. And since I just had the birth of my firstborn daughter, instead of doing a custom YouTube video, I figured why not just show you guys a sneak peek in what it looks like to be a Concrete CEO customer, and also just see what other people had a chance to ask me, and then also how I answered. I think you guys are really gonna like it. All kinds of good nuggets here about sales, operations. Let's go right in. How do I go about follow-ups with clients? Are you saying, because you said with clients, so are you talking about like how do we follow up with people who have already signed up for work? Like how do we communicate the job schedule? Or are you talking about like someone who hasn't booked? Provide me some more context, because man, there's different follow-up strategies for really every single phase of our funnel process. And actually, you know, I can't wait here because very, very soon, I'm actually gonna be redoing all of our automations here at Cesars Concrete. Like the main reason actually, I wonder if you guys will even be able to see this. Let's see here. I'm actually curious. I'm gonna click on a contact real fast. But one of the things that I actually just bought that I'm actually experimenting here, manage your extensions by clicking the extensions in the tool menu, is I actually bought a software. It's called SendBlue, and this is gonna sound like totally ridiculous, but I've seen a lot of my buddies that they're the guys that I'm in like a big group with. You'll even see here kind of like what it is. Essentially, we're as stupid as it sounds. It was like $3,500 for the year that enables me to send blue text messages out of our Go High Level CRM, because as funny as it sounds, the people that like when they get green text messages, and then when you actually send a green text message and it's through Go High Level, it has like this whole elaborate thing, and you'll notice here at the very end it says like reply, stop, don't subscribe, blah 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 blah, because like that's what you have to do legally. But this software that I actually just bought, it allows you to send iMessage through the CRM, and they've actually been shown that it boosts your response rates by up to 50%. So I'm like super eager to find out how well it works. But, and again, I know that you didn't really provide me too much context, but I kind of want to like just give you some clarification here. So you asked, like, your question was like, how do you follow up with your leads? I do have trainings on this, just so you know, Renee, but essentially like I built out our entire pipeline. These are all the phases of like our Cesars Concrete sales pipeline, because we have not scheduled leads, people who were scheduled but didn't actually answer their phone call, people that they did their call but they weren't ready for an on-site, people that we wanted to follow up with automations for, people that are in general lead nurture, people that are waiting for an estimate, people that have their estimate complete, that are hot, cold. And we also have like obviously projects scheduled, you know, sealer pending, project complete. And, you know, that's why I said you kind of asked me like a really big question. Like that could literally be an entire live call. Like I could probably talk about that for like 3 hours, to be honest with you. But like this is kind of the way that we do it within each of those buckets, right? But here is what it looks like. And I can unmute you here in a sec, by the way. But say when we have like a new lead and they have not scheduled a follow-up, like this is our current follow-up strategy. Immediately we reply via email. We are trying to get them to book a call here using this link. If they don't book a call within 3 minutes, we text them and does the same thing. Then we wait a day. This notifies my office manager to call the lead if they still have not booked. Then we wait for the end of day 2. We shoot another text. Then we wait one more day. If the contact does not reply, we have like one sequence. If they do reply, then we have this. So yeah, we kind of have like, I have different follow-up strategies for every single phase that the lead is in. So that's why I said it was kind of like a loaded question that you asked me here. Like how do we follow up with leads and clients, because really every single phase of the pipeline should be treated very differently, in my opinion. So I don't know if that like helps you at all. Is there one phase in particular that you're struggling with?
Well, just getting clients that fill out the form and then you just call them and they don't either pick up or they're never ready to schedule in. So just kind of want to see how you guys think about that.
Yeah. So the ones that like you never get in touch with. So that's basically this exact automation. Like we instantly email them. And by the way, you guys all have access to the software with these automations. They basically just have to be turned on. But as soon as we get a lead, we instantly email them. And then for us and my concrete company, at least what we did in the past, and this is the other like big reason that we are like changing our automations here very soon. Oh, that's like how our sales process works. I like totally forgot about that. So this is the concrete consultation. Wow, I like totally forgot. That's so funny. I built this like forever ago. This was actually like, I filmed this video so people like knew exactly like what to expect for our estimate process. So we used to send this out, like we'd say schedule a consultation, send pictures, have your phone consult, do your site review, authorize your estimate, and then down payment / schedule. So that's how we used to do it. And again, we were like trying to book calls with people, but we did change that. I mean, what I'll say, like essentially, like here's the rule of thumb. It's 2 contacts a day for the first 4 days, and then 1 contact a day for 7 days after that. That's the ideal strategy. And you want to mix up, you know, between text, email, call, etc. And then we are even going to be doing this SendBlue with like what I like about it. And the reason why these work so well, man, I wish I could show you guys like an example. I could actually show you like on my phone, because when you get those through the phone, everything looks blue, but I want to show you guys an example of what this looks like when it is not this. I hope you guys can see it. Like I'm gonna have each of my sales guys actually pre-record videos 4 different phases of the pipeline. It's gonna be super sick. Like I said, I'm gonna do like a full detailed training just on this, like when we get this live, but let me see if this makes sense. So these are all actually all automated messages from the software that I bought. You can see that they're like, you know, blue for iMessage. They look very personable. And then you could even pre-record like these selfie videos. This is one of the ones that they sent me.
I'm going to be your CSM here at SendBlue. Really looking forward
I don't know
to
if you
meeting
guys could even hear that.
call. On the call, we're going to set some clear goals of how we're going to use SendBlue for your business. I'll walk you through some best practices.
You guys don't need to listen to like the entire thing, but like the long story short of it is when people feel like there's like big customization and like there's a lot of like effort that you took to go out of the way for them, they feel very guilty about not replying. And so like we're going to be doing stuff like that. Like I could even like record myself like on a job site once, and I'd be like, hey, what's going on? It's Tyler. Like I saw that you filled out a form, you know, 4 hours ago. We've been trying to reach you. I just want to make sure, like, if you're still interested in getting a concrete quote, I'd love to help you. You know, just drop me a text down below and like let me know the project you're looking for, and like we'll start the estimate process. Like I'm just gonna do something very basic like that. And if you think about it from a leads perspective, it's literally gonna look like it came through on an iPhone. It's gonna look like I made them a custom video. That is supposed to be increasing response rates like a lot. So this is actually one of our huge projects that I have going on here at Cesars Concrete. But yeah, as far as like what we were doing before, all booked to a phone call, 2 contacts a day for the first 3 days, and then one contact a day, basically moving forward. And most of that was built in automations in our Go High level. So yeah, if you have follow-up questions from that, I'm happy to help. But if not, we can move on to any other stuff. What's going on, Alexis and Gabe? We're just doing Q&A today. So if you guys got anything, just let me know, man. I'm just basically trying to like show you guys whatever I can. Hey guys, quick time out here. If you guys are liking this style of content where you basically would be able to get on to calls with me, ask me any questions you want to about your business, basically how to make more money, that is exactly what our paid programs are for. If you're interested in learning more about it, I'll leave a link down below in the description to apply for a free strategy call.
You didn't hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, whatever you heard. I was probably connected to CarPlay or whatever, but I guess a question that I have is, what was the first role that you kind of started to delegate as you grew? Was it admin, operations, or sales?
Yeah, so I mean, I want to take one step back. I know that you have this, but I just want to make sure for everyone listening, actually, first role that you have as you grow is a foreman. Like first and foremost, you cannot be needed on the job site. After foreman, I did admin, and that was around when I was like 1.2-ish million. So it was an office manager. I actually made an entire weekly live call on that role, like, man, a couple weeks ago, actually. It wasn't that long ago. Watch that. And I give exact reasons on why I hired the admin, but like long story short is one of the things that you don't want to give up right away, because it's like a very important task of the business is sales. And so essentially that admin is meant to like leverage you in the business where you can do more sales, manage more projects all yourself. And then my second, so when foreman, admin, salesperson, that's when I was about $2 million. And then I did project manager when I was like 2.5 to 3 million.
Okay. Well, the reason I bring it up is because I've always wanted to either get my wife in the role or something like that, because obviously like who's gonna care more about the business, right? And it just kind of came up where she either is gonna be able to switch jobs or take severance, and she'll have like a couple, I think it might be like 8 to 6 months off or whatever. And then she kind of brought up the idea where it's like, well, I could help you too, but I wasn't sure yet of if it would be right for we already have a foreman, so I wasn't sure if it was right to do something like that yet, you know?
Man, yeah, because you guys are like maybe slightly early from that, but it's like possible that you would be needed. I mean, I will say one of the biggest levers in business, and it kind of pertains to Renee's question, I don't think people understand, and like it took me years to understand this. I used to hear people say this all the time. They'd be like, dude, one of the most important things is speed to lead. And like, I was like, yeah, dude, it's like, sure. And like, so I would manage a lot by myself, but because of that, I was like remotely slow. And so I will say, like, like, you don't have to have your wife work for you full time. And that's the beautiful part about having like a family member help you is like, the hard part is when you hire a full-time staff, you feel really stupid about hiring them if it's not a full-time role. However, if it's family, it's like, it's totally different where they come in and they're going to treat your business better. Like, obviously they're going to care a lot. You guys are probably like right at that phase where it might make sense. And so it's kind of up to you. I mean, like, you probably could have waited a little bit, but since it's a good opportunity for your wife right now, I would do it. And again, like, I know that I showcase this like all the time, guys, but this is like, I try to drill this in like with examples. And it's funny because I always have examples, like literally like part of what I was doing like right before we hopped on this call. So just recently, we have like a tiny little office. And for the people that actually came here, where's my like send? Oh, here we go. For the people that actually came here to my office, they know, like, I was actually trying to show them, I'm like, oh, look, down the hall, I'm going to have like a little bigger office because like, this is basically where we're at right now. This is my office. And then this is like our main office area. But here soon, I'm hiring like a general manager. I'm hiring a marketing director. I'm hiring an appointment setter and one more sales rep. And like, I went from like not being very crowded in this space to being like crowded as shit. And so I'm in like a 3-year lease and I like can't get out of the lease. And so I'm kind of effed. I won't lie. Like, that was even like another learning lesson, but regardless, so I started reaching out to like, what I did is I did like office cubicle near me. I think that was it. Okay, yeah, because these were the people that I reached out to. Is like this WSI and these people here, and everyone else like looked weird. And I called both of them. Like, WSI got back to me immediately, and I have a sales call with them. Like, they're actually coming out. Here's my calendar to my office, office consult. This is actually what that is. They answered their phone, got back to me immediately. These people just got back to me today, and it's only been like 12 hours, and I'm basically like, get fucked, because I'm like, I already got someone coming in. I just don't care anymore. Like, I need speed. Like, man, I got like this GM hired. I got all this shit. I have so many things on my plate. And it's like, long story short, like, that is like the power of the office admin. I just, the more that I'm in business and that I'm going through life and I'm like realizing that my shopping experiences are very similar to my clients, like speed to lead, follow up, like all that stuff is like, it's literally worth its weight in gold. So with that being said, like, if you feel like you lack at that at all, I will tell you, you stand to make so much more money by solving that problem. Sorry, that was like a really long-winded way to like explain that, but I love to provide like real world like examples for you guys, because like, I just try to show like, man, this stuff happens. Like, a lot of people, they're like, oh no, I get back to my leads, and it's like, it's just too slow. Like, faster. So important. Yeah. So what's your hesitation on hiring your wife?
No, it was, well, at first it was because of like, exactly like you said, I know I'm a little bit kind of in the early stage, and if she were to join in, I would 100% like reinvest in myself, but like a lot more than I would have this year. And just basically because to guarantee, hey, she's going to be busy. She's going to be on the phone and like doing other stuff, bookkeeping. And also like at the end of the day, I know my wife like better than anybody, right? I know she's not going to screw me or anything like that. And do something that like maybe somebody else, like if you hire them, that it's not your family or whatever, like they could do something, right? Like mess up your books or something like that. But stuff kind of like that. The only thing that was stopping me really was because, I mean, she has a good job right now. It's just that now that they're kind of taking down she works for Wells Fargo. They're taking down that department, and Wells Fargo's severances packages are actually really good. And a client that I had, how he started his business, he said that his wife had already kind of started it, and he took severance, and basically they just kind of did their own thing, and he never looked back. So it's kind of like, it's just something that got brought
when
up in my
opportunity presents, dude, I say go for it. I mean, I would love to say,
Yeah.
if my wife didn't make like 180K a year, I would 1,000%.
Yeah, exactly.
And she would hate me. She always says, she's like, I would never let you tell me what to do. So
Yeah.
so we probably couldn't work together, but yeah, if I would love to. I always tell her, I was like, quit your job, and it's just, it'd be so irresponsible. She's like, what would I even do? Is like, I don't know, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's up to you, man. I think that'd personally be cool, and opportunity presented itself. I mean, you guys are like right about like, that size, that it makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean the biggest thing, even like, I guess this is another piggyback question, like, so when you are growing, because I don't know how, maybe it's just like I'm not seeing it, but obviously, because I used to think it was just like, hey, just spend more on marketing, do more on marketing. Obviously you got to do other avenues, but when you were growing and then you were like, all right, I got an admin, now I got to pay him like 50 or however much you pay him, like you got to add him in the overhead. Now we need to do like, I think you said you did 1.2, right? Or 1.5?
I know it was about 1.2 when I hired her.
Okay.
I can't remember,
so it's
somewhere
like
right in there, 1.2 or 1.5, somewhere in there.
When you kind of, I guess, what would you say are, what
but
do
I
you
wasn't
recommend?
charging very good, right? So keep that in mind too. And always look at it like this, dude. So this is like the easy math to do this. And this is like oversimplifies a little bit, but what's your gross margin?
About 46%, like almost almost 46 to 53% is always where we try to be at.
Okay, so margin 46%. How much would you pay your wife?
I always tell her, I'm like, honestly, I pay her probably like 50K a year, but in like distributions, because obviously she's like a part of the business, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like whatever I make is basically ours. I tell her that. And so I tell her, I'm like, don't look at it that way as like, she, like, you're just making 50K, because at the end of the day, that's for us and our kids and stuff, you know?
Sure. So yeah, just do this like calculation here. This is what I always do. This like oversimplifies it, but obviously use your know your numbers and stuff. But like, this is like the easiest way to look at it. You literally just take their salary divided by the gross profit. So it's 50K divided by 0.46. Do you think you can sell, complete, and get done $108,000 more in work at your current margins if you hired your wife?
Yeah.
Because that's like your break-even point, you know. And this is like the other quick lesson, like why, you know, gross profit matters so much, right? Because if you're at 30%, for instance, where a lot of people are at, then in order to break even, you have to do 166K in revenue for that same person, right? So, so yeah, that's like really the way to look at it. Is like, I always try to break things down in math. And so what I would do is be like, cool, you know, what are my current metrics right now? Like, how much more volume could I handle? How many more leads could I get in touch with, etc.? Like, would it allow me to then do what your break-even point was, which was $108,000 more in work? And if so, then it technically, like, anything above that technically makes the business more money. Like I said, that slightly oversimplifies it, because there are certain things in overhead that go up too, like gas, equipment, etc. So you could throw on like a little buffer on that, like to be safe, like 20%. So 130K, but that's kind of like your break-even point. And like, that's how I try to think about things, is I try to like break it down into math the best I can. And that typically helps make me feel a little bit better, right? It's like, I'm about to pay my GM. It's like, man, my concrete business does not make that much money. And mainly, honestly, because I spend so much time here at Concrete CEO, I hire out way too many things that I really shouldn't. And just recently I was faced with that choice myself, as like, man, does it really make sense to pay a GM roughly 150K? But then I was like, oh damn, like if they did that and he like comes from a commercial sales background, actually like business development, not going through GCs, like going directly to business owners and like basically being on their bid list for like big property, like property management companies, facility people. That's what he's actually done in restoration for a long time. And I like did the math and I was like, oh, like, cause I was like interviewing him and he's like, I was like, what do you think is like conservative that we'd even do in a year on this type of work? He's like, oh, I don't know. He's like, you know, his last role, he opened up a branch for restoration in Denver, and year one, built all the relationships from scratch, did 4 mil. I'm like, that's crazy. But
Damn.
And I was like, so what do you think's like, you know, because I told him, I was like, you still have to manage the sales team, manage the office staff. You have to do all that. So like, you're not a full-time like business development rep. He's like, yeah, I mean, pretty conservatively, I'd say like 800K to $1 million. He's like, I don't see how we wouldn't do more than that. And I like did the math and I'm like, oh, I'm going to pay 150K for like 400K in gross profit, let's just say. I'm like, that's a great trade-off. And so like, I try to break it down with math.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it. Because honestly, like you were saying, after doing that, like, which makes me mad because I obviously I didn't see it that way. But the way we did it last year was we probably didn't have work for like throughout the whole entire year last year. We worked full straight 7 months. We maybe had like 2 months worth of work that we weren't selling as much. That's just because we didn't really spend more on marketing as we should have. But it was kind of one of those things where, like, even now you saying that, I could have hired her last year and I still would have been in the same position I am, which we're good now, like, thankfully, you know? And so, because I did fix my pricing. That was my biggest issue last year. I think I was at like 6% net 2 years ago. And then I started seeing your videos and I was like, all right. And I thought you were lying, bro. So like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, obviously it's true.
Everyone does. I mean, I still remember, I mean, one of the most things that I remember most when I was like getting started in business, and like I've said this story, but it was just like so crazy to me, is I literally remember, because I was charging, I think $6 a square foot at the time. It was like my second year in business. And I remember like, I thought charging a lot meant like $8 to $8.50 per square foot. And I remember I was in like a group, I was actually in like that group called Goat Gang by Tigran Gertz, that like YouTuber for landscapers. And then they're like, oh dude, just like charge, you know, $8 a square foot for concrete and you'll make so much more money. And I remember I like posted in there, I was like, I'll literally pay someone $50,000 if they can guarantee that they'll teach me how to do that. Cause like I did the math and I was like, oh my God, I'd boost profitability by like 33%. I was like, I'm no cap. And I did not believe anyone. And like, they were like, just do it. And I was like, oh dude, you don't understand. So many cheap guys in my area, blah, 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 blah. And so I get it. Like I fought it so hard. And like coming into business, I thought it was my moral duty to charge as cheap as possible for the client. That's actually like what I thought was actually the most moral thing to do. So it took me a lot of time to get rid of that head trash. So I get it. Hey, I'm going to pause real fast. I want to make sure I open up the floor. Gabe, Tyler, I know that you guys haven't pitched pitched in. You guys got anything here that you guys want me to go over, or you guys are just hanging out?
Yeah, I've got a question.
All right, what's up?
Do you guys do at Cesars, do you do your demo and excavation in-house, or do you sub that out?
In-house.
Okay. You have your concrete crew doing that, or you have a dedicated crew for that?
Man, so another answer on the slide that is like changing from year over year, which is funny. So in the past, we had our concrete guys do it, and it's potentially changing this year, but I'll kind of like explain why. I would say most all the time, concrete guys do it. Just so you know, like that is like I've done that forever. I've made a ton of money. Like that's a great way to do it. The only reason I'm considering changing is twofold. Number one, I bought a dump truck and I literally like don't use it, and it really pisses me off. Okay, so essentially like what I'm trying out this year is we're buying like this big trailer, and it's long enough. And like what my goal was here is like, this is the setup that we're running now for demo this year. Towing equipment trailer it's going to be basically this, because I have a big dump truck. It's way bigger than that. Oh, it's like this. Like I have a dump truck like this. So this is basically my exact setup that I'm going to do next year. And we want to tow either a skid steer and a mini skid, or like a skid steer and excavator. But you know, I was thinking is like, man, that is so much cheaper. Cause like, could you imagine how much like shit this guy could like tear out in a day if they were like showing up with his dump truck and a skid steer and all that? And it's just like one guy. So you guys will actually notice on this chat here with my project manager, those are actually the resumes that we're currently interviewing for, like CDL equipment operator essentially. So yeah, essentially long story short, all the way up until this year, our concrete guys did it. And what I did is I had a truck with just like a dump trailer behind it. The dump trailer would also have the equipment in there, and our crews will still have that ability, but I will have like a dedicated full-time like dirt work guy this year. And only just because like we're doing enough volume that it makes sense. And like, instead of sending like a crew of like 3 guys that cost me, you know, after labor burden, like $1,000 a day, not including overhead or anything like that, no equipment, like just in labor, I was like, man, why don't I spend like $400 a day for an equipment operator? And like, they could probably do about the same work with demo and excavation, but that's like a way later thing. So until then, like sending a concrete crew to do it is totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And dude, those are the jobs that we make the most money on. I love when we get demo, like jobs that include demo and all that. I don't know. I mean, this is like the other rule of thumb that I've liked with business, like over time, is I like doing things that are hard, because like it means that more of my competitors won't do them. Like, so honestly, like I used to like really hate complex jobs or like that type of stuff, but I've really leaned into that more because I realized like a lot of my competitors just like won't do it, or like they don't have the capacity. And so like that's one of the best parts when you start growing in business, in my opinion, is you take on like more skilled work and like you get into like bigger equipment. Like that's where like I look behind my house sometimes, and it was funny. I think even in that video that I like showed you guys earlier on screen, I like forgot, but there's these companies and all they do is like that dirt work and stuff. And like, I just can't even fathom how much money they make. Cause it's like, they send out like 4 guys in a field and like, all they do is dirt work all day, but they've got like just stacks of equipment. And dude, that's just gotta be like totally crazy. This is the video I was talking about. Like, look at that shit. I actually like, cause all of this is developed now. I filmed this like forever ago. Isn't that shit funny, dude? I'm telling you, I literally like sat and looked out of my back window like forever. And I was like, God damn, I was like, these guys probably make so much money. I literally was like sitting there. I thought that every day. I literally did. It was pretty funny. But so yeah, what other questions? And if we don't have any, that's all good. But I just want to make sure that I'm like, you know, getting to all you guys. Gabe, what's been going on with you, dude? I haven't talked to you in forever. If you can, I know it's early for you. You're like always on a job site at this time. I always feel bad doing the lives at this time because people in like Pacific time, it's like super early. So I pre-apologize. Yeah, probably busy. All right. Any of you guys have anything else or like want to see anything? If you guys can't tell, I like show whatever I can.
Well, I just wanted to say I landed my first job and started it today, Tyler. So I'm pretty fired up about that.
Yeah, dude, congrats. That's like super sick, and like all that stuff like went good and all that. That's pretty exciting, dude. I mean, and like things will start falling too. Like that's the other thing, man. You just like build momentum and like you get better, and so it just goes good. Because yeah, I think Tyler, I don't even know if I asked how long have you been in business? Because I know everyone else like I've been talking to forever.
April will be 2 years.
Okay, yeah, and you agree, right? I mean, like Renee like just started business up a couple months ago. I mean, it gets way easier. I'm sure you can confirm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Tyler.
Yeah, Gabe's been at it forever. What's up, Gabe? I mean, how long have you been in business, dude? You've been in business for a minimum 4 years.
2020. So
Okay.
it's almost six years. And then this is like a pretty amateur question. But so
You're good, dude.
I sent out a quote. I don't even freaking do quotes anymore because we do so much commercial work. But or I don't do a lot of sales. But I sent out a quote for 41,000, and it's for like 3,000 square feet of 4-inch concrete. And I called the client to see if they wanted to do it. And this is just like a residential driveway. And they said that they are considering us highly because of like our reviews and our work and our presence. But they have another licensed contractor who's willing to do it for the same cost. I don't know if he shared the cost with him or not, but he said that we came in at about the same cost, but he's going to do it in 6-inch concrete, which obviously increased by like 50% material cost. So when you get an objection like that, what is the best way to handle it?
So essentially they said like, hey, someone else is like going to do it for the same price. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, somebody else will do it for the same price, but 6-inch concrete instead of 4.
Oh, what the hell? When did these people reach out?
It's pretty newish. Like I sent the quote out on the 5th of February, and I did a follow-up with him this week, and he said that he's on vacation right now and that he hasn't even like technically chosen a contractor. He's like, but I got another quote for essentially the same price, but 6-inch concrete, and that was kind of like a thing for him. Like when we did the walkthrough, he was like, I'd like to do 6, but my budget, and I was like, well, you can do 4-inch with a higher PSI concrete and rebar. Like it's gonna be, a really strong mix for just a residential driveway. It's not like he's parking anything crazy on it. And so I was like, you don't need the 6-inch. But anyway, so that's where, I spoke with him a couple days ago, and he's like, I haven't made a decision. He's like, but the other guy, he's like, I haven't even seen any of his work or anything. He's like, but I do know he's licensed, which is like a big thing in California because you have to get like a specific contractor's license in your specific trade. And then there's a lot of guys that don't have licenses. But anyways, so he's saying that somebody's willing to do same cost, but 6-inch concrete instead of 4, but he's just unsure of the quality of work he's going to get, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I have a couple comments, and this is why I asked, dude, because I freaking knew you'd be like this. Great example. I mean, I knew, by the way, guys, and Gabe, I'm not ragging on you, but this is like this is such a you thing, dude.
Yeah.
Like, just so everyone knows, Gabe, and he said it, he is like for sure a commercial concrete guy. Cause like, to be honest, and this isn't like a knock, but sales is just not your strong suit. And that's why I asked him, like, how new is this opportunity? And you're like, pretty new, dude. Like, I sent the proposal February 5th. Like, that to me is like ancient, dude. That's like, I mean, god dang, dude, that's so old. I mean, what you have to think about it is like, dude, I seriously think, and I know I always go back to this, and I think, like, first and foremost, I just think your sales process takes way too long. Like, you let this guy fester on it. Now he's in his head. He's less emotional. He's moved all the logics out of his brain, and you still might win it, but like, it just like, number one, it took too long. Number two, like, you really should have presented this in person, because if you would have presented this in person, if possible, you'd have been like, hey man, it's like 42K for 4-inch, blah, 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 blah. And if it's like, oh man, you could have been like, dude, what's holding you up? Like, I really want 6-inch, dude. Be like, oh man, well, like, let me run a calculation for you. Be like, instead 6-inch, like, it would be at 48K. That's with me giving you a deal. I'm really not charging you extra for like the dirt work, etc. Like, those are really your two options. Like, which one do you prefer? Do you want the 42? Do you want the 48? Like, and it would have been a hell of a lot easier for you to win at that time. But like, it's too late now. It kind of is what it is, and we have to work with what you're working with. Yeah. And I would just like, dude, like, man, I wish that you guys could hear like one of my sales reps, Anthony. He's really good at this, because Anthony, like, he installs fear with people, and like, that's also part of your problem is like, you're going over it like too long. But like, when that happens with Anthony, is like, he'll make the person realize why they're not doing it like in real time. So like, this is kind of what I would do on the phone. I'd be like, cool, man, so like, I totally get it. We're not going to win every single job. It's kind of a bummer, because I think we would have totally knocked it out of the park for you. I really like you. But with that being said, like, if he's going to give you essentially like a better product, like, why haven't you already just given him the job? And I like, shut up. And then they'll tell me why they don't want to buy from him, because then your customer will go like, oh, well, dude, like, here's the thing is like, the problem is like, he says he's licensed, but I haven't seen any of his work, yada, yada, yada. And he'll give all the reasons why he hasn't hired the other guy. And you say, yeah, dude, right. I mean, I totally get that. I mean, I can't speak on behalf of the other guy. And I know that we have like lots of problems with other contractors in the area. And so I think really the choice comes down to you. I mean, you've seen me, I've been in business for 6 years. You're top tier, right?
Tier 1 concrete, and it's Merced, California.
That's right, Merced. Like, the whole reason that you reached out to me, right, is because you notice I've been in business for 6 years. I've got like 35 reviews on Google. Like, we have a really good reputation. I think with me, you know what you're really getting, right? We're a licensed contractor. I do all kinds of big projects. Like, here's some of my work. Check out some of my pictures. Like, I think with me, you know exactly what you're going to get. And at the end of the day, dude, like, this is a pretty big project. Like, regardless if you go 6-inch or 4-inch, spending $43,000 or $42,000, whatever you said, is a lot of money. And like, what you really don't want to have happen happen is like for you to spend that money and for it to go wrong. Cause then it's like a nightmare. Cause then for me to come out, tear out that work, redo everything, then you're looking closer to like 50 or 60. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you like what you could be looking at. So at the end of the day, it's up to you. Be like, and then if you want, this would be totally up to you. Be like, dude, I could get you a banging deal on 6-inch concrete, but I'm telling you, like if my mom called me and I was doing work at my mom's house and I was doing everything in my power to make my mom's concrete good, I would not pour 6-inch for her. So like, that's me telling you, I literally believe in that. Like oftentimes I'll tell people at my house, and this is true, like I did a walkway, I did my driveway, etc. And I'll tell people like, hey, at my house, I literally did 4-inch concrete, 2 inches of base, rebar. I did everything that I'm literally doing for you. So like, I'm telling you, and like, it wouldn't have costed me that much extra because like I own the business and like I would just do the work. If I really thought it was going to be that much better, I would have just done it in my house. So it's up to you. If you want to pay for that, I'll give you a good deal. It's going to cost X. Like, dude, you're going to get an amazing project at that 42K price. And then you're going to work with me, which like you already said it yourself. It sounds like you're more willing, like you want to work with me more than the other guy because you like just believe that we're going to do a better job. So like, you know, what do you want to do? Like, I would just kind of help him think through it. Like, you know what I mean? I'd help him think through the pros, the cons, the risks. Like I would try to make him feel better about like not spending money on shit that he doesn't need to spend. It would kind of just be like a big conversation like that. So I don't know if that helps at all.
Yeah, like I haven't updated my sales process in, you know, a long time, like since we were doing like a couple of years ago. And and really I haven't done sales in like a couple of years. And so like this is like, yeah, like that's why like I kind of like, you know, lost my way in some parts, like especially like you're saying, like the time. I mean, I've been sick for a couple of weeks too, and I like the flu really bad, so I haven't been doing too much, and I'm like the only one who does the sales. But no, I wrote down a lot of good points. I like instilling the fear, like why don't you just go with the other guy? And that's
the thing is like, because that's like, dude, if they want to, then they would have already done it. So just know they still want to work with you, or they wouldn't be talking to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially too, like definitely using the one that you said, because it is a lot of money. That's why like this one I was more interested in, because it's, you know, most residential projects are between like $8,000 to $15,000, and you know some less than. So this one I was a little bit more interested in, but I actually even am doing a follow-up. But yeah, like you're spending a lot of money, like, you know, imagine if it went wrong. But
yeah, and like you're not saying anything bad. He obviously doesn't trust the other guy because like he didn't ever see the photos. Like he just doesn't believe the other guy. And so at that point, it's like, dude, what are you willing to pay to be like sure that you're gonna get a good product? Be like, you can, dude. I would even be honest. I'm honest with people all the time. I'd be like, listen, man, I want to talk to you because like this is an awesome project. I know I'd knock it out of the park. But like, dude, these are the type of projects that I normally do. I build like, because you build like gas stations and shit. Be like, I literally build like gas stations. I build like this stuff. Be like, I promise you, your driveway like is in good hands with me. I can do this. I will do good. I'll do well for you. Like I'll respond. And then I would just be like, what's really holding you up, man? Like, is it truly just a 6-inch, like, which really won't give you any extra like benefit? Or like, is there any other, like, I would just try to like talk with him. You know what I mean? And that's also why I love doing it in person, because like so much time has passed. It's going to be harder for you to like jump back in.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking too. Like I haven't updated my sales process. So like I'm still doing like, I haven't switched over to like presenting in person or anything like that yet. So I'm like, yeah, a little bit behind the curve, but
all good. And that's the thing, dude. You don't necessarily even need to do residential. Like you're built to be like a commercial concrete guy, which there's nothing wrong with that. So, you know, it doesn't really fit me, for instance, but like a lot of guys do, like it's good. I mean, commercial's a great line of work. I mean, it really is. So especially like once you get in and you have the relationships and like you're very good at that, there's nothing wrong with like the residential stuff. So also just know too, when it's not your bread and butter, like great example, we have a client here, Concrete Fixers, and they're actually one of our bigger clients. They do over like 400K a month in concrete. They're big. And it's funny, all of our big guys, by the way, never come to life, which is always sad. I wish they'd come. But so that guy, he owns a second business. It's a roofing exterior business, and we market for it like just because of the relationship. And then he had a guy call that was a friend of his that's like a big roofing company, and then they were inquiring about marketing. And because it's not like really our bread and butter, I like just didn't give a shit. I was like, listen, dude, here's what I could do. I charge more than what I typically charge. I didn't do a commitment, and I honestly didn't try to sell him very hard because I'm like, dude, I just don't give a shit if you buy from me or not. I mean, I seriously feel like that because I just don't care. And so like that's the thing too. It's okay to not care, you know, like, and like focus on your niche. So I don't know, dude. It's totally up to you. But obviously, if you want to get more residential jobs, you know, you heard my answer. It's all about the speed. It's all about the relationship. It's all about like residential people are very emotional, so you have to really help them think through everything. And that's kind of like the name of the game. But if that's not your cup of tea, then like who cares? Like you could just like cast out nets and like put out minimal effort. And if you get some fish back, then cool. But if not, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
Sweet.
So cool. Anything else, Gideon? I saw that you joined. You got anything you need help with? I'm gonna try to wrap this up here in the next 10 minutes ish.
Oh yeah, Yeah, what's up? Yeah, sorry, got a little late, but yeah, enjoyed the last conversation. Yeah, no, real quick, just in relationship to doing residential work, so that's what we do. Do you have like a process when you're vetting people? Like just with right now, I was just wondering if I'm leaving anything on the table. People just want a number sometimes. They'll just be like, "Hey, how much does this cost?" Do you have like any guidance on maybe like the best way to like gauge if the customer's serious or not?
Yeah. If someone calls in, I mean, again, it's like, it's going to sound kind of weird, but I really do like, we try to feel people out. But I will say, like, we don't hold that carrot over people's head. I really hate when people do that. So, like, if we get a call and someone's like, oh, like, I just want a price, like, what I'm not going to do is, oh, like, I have no idea what it's going to cost. Like, that's like totally garbage. I mean, we do know roughly what it's going to cost. And I'm like, cool. Hey, so just so you know, like, I'm happy to provide you with the info that I can. There are multiple things that affect price, just so you know what they are. Like, it's the level of access, the level of prep, obviously the size of the job, the finish, the complexity. Oftentimes our quotes for the same size of concrete can vary literally like 50 to 100% sometimes, but I'm going to do my best to help you out here. And then I'll probably ask them like kind of like a question like, so like, are you thinking about getting this concrete project done soon? Or are you just budgeting right now? Or like, what phase are you in? And then oftentimes they're like, no, man, I'm just like budgeting. I'm just trying to see if I can even afford it. At that point, I typically mention that we do financing. I'm like, cool. Hey, just so you know, I'm going to give you some rough pricing. Also, just know like the best time to do concrete is always right now, because we actually do 0% financing and the cost of concrete always goes up. Whatever I tell you now, if you call me back in a year, it's probably going to be more expensive because that's the way the world works. So are we on the same page with that? And they're like, yeah, cool. And then I'll just ask them about their project, right? Hey, so what is it? Where is it? And I will give them a price, but I do also give them a very rough range. I'm like, hey, my goal here is to at least like get you in the range so you understand like the rough order of magnitude of what this project is going to cost for you. It also really helps me now that I have 3 pricing tiers, because I literally do have like a super wide range of pricing. So let's just say if it's like 1,000 square foot patio, I might give someone like the rough pricing range of like, hey, like if prep's super easy, access wide open, etc., it might be as low as like 12. But if like we're gonna make your patio, say for instance like the Taj Mahal of patios, and it's gonna be on like the front page of a magazine, you could spend upwards of like 40-50 grand on the patio. Depending on where you're at, like most of our patios come in around like 18 to 20 for that size, etc. Like I do try to give them the info, but I try to also keep it broad enough. My goal is to be really helpful, very friendly, and like to decrease their like emotional barrier, so that way essentially like a lot of times that people don't want to move forward with an in-person quote is, number one, they have no idea what it's going to cost, but number two is like they just don't want to be sold shit. So if they could tell that like you're just an open, honest company and like you're just helpful, like it'll make them want to work with you. I cannot stand when I call people and I try to get rough pricing and they act like they have no idea what the hell is going on. It's insane. I mean, I was just telling you guys, I was just doing this for my office for Cesars Concrete. I'm like, what do people typically spend? And then like some people like, oh, just blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, just like, what's your fucking average job? I mean, like I have 1,000 square foot office. I just want cubicles, maybe a couple desks. I don't care. I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire. Like, are we talking like 5 grand? Or are we talking like 50 grand? Because I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste my time. It drives me nuts. So yeah, I hope that helps. I mean, basically like I try to help people, but I never give them an exact price. And I try to sell them on like why now is the time. But like I try to be really helpful because like it's going to help them like lower their barrier to want me to come out because they're going to trust me.
Yeah, no, that's super helpful. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out financing. So I've been trying to put that into my sales a little bit recently on phone calls and stuff, but still working on that part.
Yeah. And like, that's the big thing, dude. A lot of people, like, for instance, they might reach out right now and it's before tax season, right? And I'm like, cool. Well, like, because if they're like, I want rough pricing, I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I'm happy to help, but also like, hey, our pricing kind of fluctuates depending on the year. Do you have like a time that you're like trying to get this project done? Some people are like, oh, I have literally no idea. And for them, I just kind of like ignore it and I move past it. But some people are like, oh, well, like, ideally I'd get it done this summer. I'm kind of waiting on my tax return. I'm waiting on blah, 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 blah. That's when I really try to push financing because I'm like, hey, like, I just want to let you know, I actually have like awesome deals going on right now because it's like still technically before spring. If I could get you in at 0% financing, you'd probably be paying payments of like less than say $500 a month. And then when you get that, all of the money that you spent goes towards the principal of paying off your project. And then you could just pay it off. And that way you could just enjoy your patio for like longer. You'll be ready to go. Like, are you open to just talking about it now? And then a lot of times they're like, oh yeah. And again, like same thing, like going back to my Volvo purchase, I had 3 months left of my wife's lease. I walked into Volvo. They're like, do you want to talk about numbers? I'm like, no, dude, I'm not ready yet. And they're like, no, like, dude, why not? Like, we have a really good deal right now, blah, blah, blah. They like talked me into it. And then I walked out with a Volvo the next day and I spent like whatever it was, 78 grand, 80 grand. I can't remember. It was somewhere right in there. But like, dude, that shit happens all the time. So I really don't gauge my customer's interest based on like what they're telling me, because like that's my job as a salesperson. Is I'm trying to assist in their buying process. It's like I'm trying to look at it. I'm trying to be helpful. I'm trying to make them offers. Like a lot of times people don't even know what's available, so I'm trying to like tell them, because they just don't even know that any of that stuff is a possibility. And so yeah.
Do you try to like instill fear more when you're trying to sell? Does it depend on the person? So you're like, it sounds like depending on the situation, you're like, hey,
fear only with comparison. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
install fear right away. That I don't lead with fear. Like I think that's like kind of like a shitty tactic. I only lean on fear when I can already tell that they're fearful, and they should be. In Gabe's situation, he was like, "Oh yeah, dude, you're about to spend 40 fucking K with a guy you haven't even seen their work yet. That sounds like red flag. Like, hello, you know, like it's not like I'm not trying to install fake fear, and so I'm not trying to be deceptive. I mean, I'm trying to be like, you know, I notice the fear, but I can't tell them like, oh, dude, you're stupid. So I have to make them realize why they're stupid through questions. So yeah, like, why haven't you already just given them the business then? And they're like, oh, well, like, I'm nervous. Well, what are you nervous about? Oh, well, I haven't seen his photos. I haven't seen this. I haven't seen that. Yeah. What do you think would happen if like you gave that guy the money and he either ghosted you or went wrong? And like, I'm just trying to help them realize the things that they should be realizing. I'm helping them think about it. But say, for instance, if they called a really reputable competitor and the competitor was just like doing a better deal, I wouldn't really like use fear. In that instance, I'd just use honesty. It'd be like, say, for instance, there's a company here local. They're called A Concrete. They're a pretty damn good company. And so if someone's like, hey, like I got a quote from A Concrete's a little bit less, I'm like, hey, I totally get it. A Concrete's actually a really good company. So like, you know, I totally get it. Here are some of the differences. Like with A Concrete, they're a bigger company. So you're going to be looked at as more of a number. Here, like we're a small family office. Like you're literally going to be working with my brother-in-law. And I try to like really custom do it for like the people. That's why I like hate scripts. And like, I don't do fear as a lie. I try to be honest with people. And again, I just reiterate what I can do. Because sometimes you might even be like, I'm like, well, why haven't you bought from A Concrete yet? They'd be like, oh, well, A Concrete says that they can't get to me until August. I'm like, do you want to spend a little bit of extra money and just do it in like 3 weeks? And sometimes they're like, yeah, fuck it. Let's just do it. I mean, like, don't ever decide for your customer. Like, you just tell them what you can do. You help them think through it. And then you ask them for the business. You know, you just want to really not overcomplicate that. And definitely do not use tactics that like aren't warranted. You know, like I'm only using that fear, like, because a lot of our customers are like, yeah, I'm about to hire like, you know, Manuel. And like, well, who the hell is Manuel? I don't even know. I don't know his company. How'd you find him? Oh, a friend gave me his number. Does he have a website? No. Are you a little bit nervous that project might not go very good? Well, I'm not sure. I'm like, you know, then like I'll lean into it, you know, like I'll rip them. But again, it has to be like justified. I hope that makes sense. Like, I'm not trying to like just install fear for no reason.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that answer. Yeah, no, it's good. It sounds like it's most of the time it's just being tactful and like being aware of the context and the situation. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, people are always willing to pay more money for certainty. Not everyone, but a lot of people. I mean, Concrete CEO wouldn't exist if you guys weren't willing to pay more for like reputation and certainty. And we're not the most expensive. Like there's some companies that are like unreal expensive, but still like you guys could just look someone up on Fiverr, you know, but like, why would you not do that? Oh, because like the cost of your marketing going wrong is going to be way more expensive than like the difference in the retainer. Way fucking more expensive. I mean, you run out of work, you're totally effed. So you get what I mean? And our customers, like they think the same way. They don't want to do a project if they're not certain. And so if they will pay for certainty, it's just kind of helping them think through that. And like, that's a good thing too. Like, I mean, god dang, that's a reason why like everyone doesn't buy crap. What's that stupid Chinese site? It's not Amazon, but it's like the Amazon of like China.
Temu.
Yeah. If all people gave a shit about his price, then like everyone would just buy everything from Temu. But like, you're like, oh, you know, I'm going to buy some headphones and like, I'm going to spend $5 on Temu. Like, why don't people do that? Because like they want their headphones to work. Like they want it to be good. You know what I mean? And our customers feel the same way. Any other questions? If not, I'm going to get rolling. I'm like you, Gabe. I've been sick forever, dude. It's crazy. I'm like not getting over my cold. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah, appreciate it, Tyler. Yeah, hope feel better. Congrats on the baby, man.
Thanks, dude. I think that's part of the reason why I'm not getting better, dude. I'm not sleeping anymore. It's tough, but oh well. But thank you. Cool. Well, sounds good, guys. Well, good session. That's actually a lot of fun. If you guys need anything, let me know. But if not, I will catch you guys next week.
Right on, Tyler. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Bye.